because I was too scared to actually approach that, because it's a whole area that I'm not familiar with. You know, it's like you coming on set. If you had no connection to what this place actually is, and you just walk in, you're going to feel like a total loser and out of place, right?
Yeah.
So you need a connection into that world. And if we can be that connection into that world, it would make it a lot easier for people like moi to come along and go, this is great. How can I help?
This podcast is proudly supported by the Ōtara Network Action Committee, ōNAC, community owned, community driven and community led.
No mai haere mai ki, we are Ōtara. Today, I'm here for you. Back
Me?
in, yes. No, I'm here for our guest.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Thought so.
Another amazing human being I've had the amazing opportunity to meet on this journey that we call We Ōtara, or Accelerating Aotearoa, where we are in the heart of Ōtara, where it matters, Lovegrove Crescent.
Yep.
How we thought we'd take this conversation, Dan, was for you to maybe, but let's take it in 3 parts. Talk about how you came to be with us and what you've been doing and what it was that drew you here. And then after that, let's talk about how you've felt over that last year, because it is a year now, isn't it? Was it more than
nearly
a year?
Yeah, no, it's not over a year.
And then where we might go in the future if you're brave enough to stick around.
Future.
The future.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with that story. I remember meeting... No, let's not do it there. I won't lead you into it. You're going to start it and you're going to say, this is what you've been doing for the last 25 years.
Okay.
If you want to say that.
Yeah. Well, I've been in the media industry, as you know, for the last 25 odd years in the television space, as a video editor mainly. Worked for TVNZ, did television commercials, did documentaries, and then later on films as well, which is great. A lot of fun. I've always been a born storyteller, and I just wanted to be part of that industry and play with all the toys, you know, the cameras, the technical gear, which is the edit suites, the monitors.
The talent.
And the talent as well. Yeah. So you got the glamour side of it as well. And that's what I love about the industry and just about content creation. It encompasses everyone. So whether you're an engineer or you're a creative or you're bossy pants or you're a follower, everyone gets to be part of a film crew and make something and go in the same direction as everyone else. And that's what I love about it.
It's kind of like the master collaboration.
It is. Isn't it? And that's kind of what drew me firstly into that sort of stuff. What happened to your water?
Thirsty.
Okay.
She knocked it over and she's been drinking it. I might just let you hear
this. If you don't know, this is Poppy currently down here.
Who's drinking my water.
Drinking her water.
This is real life at Accelerating.
And I have to take the blame for that because I haven't put out her water yet. I did bring her water bottle. Yes.
I'll wash it, baby.
So that drew me into the industry. But after doing that for 20 years and being an editor and being stuck in a dark room, I thought, there must be more to life than this sort of stuff. And then got a job being an operations manager for a post-production facility. So I did that for a few years. And then after that, kind of had enough. I thought there's got to be more to life than earning a living. And so I decided to do something different and to see what else is there in the community. And I have no ties with Ōtara or any community work. So I was just looking. And through a mutual friend of ours, Will Fleming, who set up this beautiful podcast space with our man Vinny here. He says, come along. I work at this charity called Accelerating Aotearoa. We've got a geek camp coming up. And did you want to help out? And that's really the first time I earnestly came here and spent some time with you, Judy.
I remember walking around the car park outside. It was
that's
lovely.
right. And, being the camera guy. I was had a little camera with me, a DSLR, and I think it was actually no. The first time I didn't have anything. I just turned up, and I just sat with the kids, drawing, making paper cranes and things like that. Just helping out wherever I can.
Origami, come on.
That was origami, that's right. Yeah.
I remember that, and you said, let's put them in the tree. And
oh, that's right, we had the whole tree thing.
they're still there.
Yeah, because my kids are all grown up now, so I don't have any young kids to get down on the floor and play with things and draw things and things like that. So that was a really awesome respite from having all the responsibility of, a very serious role and a job and the mortgage, making money, etc., pleasing clients, to just sitting down and playing with kids. That is something that we miss. Being an adult, everything's too serious. And you never stop and just go, unless you're a parent. But unfortunately, when you're a parent and you got 24/7 of these things, children, you get over it pretty quickly. The novelty wears off. So the beauty is coming here for a little bit, doing my time, and then going home to a nice quiet place is actually the best of both worlds, isn't it, really? But little did I know that I stumbled into the heart of Ōtara. So I was naive. I came here and I saw some of the good work that you are doing, Judy, and the people that are surrounding you and everything like that.
Amazing.
You've got a whole infrastructure. Being fresh, I knew, what if you do this? What if you do that? What if you do this? What if you do that? So I pushed myself upon you a little bit and, making
Hardly.
a few... No, we made a few changes.
They were seamless changes.
Seamless?
I didn't even notice any
so?
changes.
Really?
What changes do you think you made?
Well, the painting.
The
tidying up.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
And just tidying up.
Yeah. And getting the trust of the people that are here too. I was an outsider, and that's actually a nice thing to say. I was an outsider. I don't feel like an outsider anymore.
Now.
And now...
You're the fun guy.
Yeah, I am. I get to come here, do the fun, and then go again, so, and then leave the hard stuff to you.
Before we jump into the really exciting things that are happening now, that moment when you thought, maybe I will come and be involved here, what was that? What did that feel like?
I think it was just an organic... What's the word? Decision in a way. I try to just go with the flow of things and go with what feels right. And this felt right, and it still feels right. And if one day it doesn't feel right, I won't be here, and neither will you. But ultimately, you're still here after all these years.
Until we've handed over.
Even though, your challenges are monumental and you're still climbing that mega mountain, but it still feels right, doesn't it? And you don't mind. And if people have a purpose and they feel like they're making a difference and they follow their gut, it's a no-brainer. You just go with it. And whatever comes... And
you wake up every morning feeling excited.
Yeah. Or even if you're not excited and you're tired, you go knowing that after that day, you feel like you've done the best you possibly can on this earth, in a way. So there you go. That's what I was trying to reclaim after being in the corporate world for so long, where it was all about making more money, getting more clients. And I have enough. I don't want any more of that. That was one life. And now the next life is, how do I feel more present? How can I mingle with people that are not like me, that don't live like me? I don't want to live in an echo chamber. I want to cross the divides, and every person is just as fascinating as every other person. It doesn't matter where you live.
Probably more fascinating the more different they are.
Totally.
Don't you think?
Yeah. And I think the more different people are to you, the more complementary they are to your life. You've got that yin and yang thing happening there.
Absolutely.
And greater than the sum of its parts, isn't it? Even with the brainstorming that you and I do, the conversations we have, I cannot have with anyone else.
Yeah.
Because it's just
Not
so
me either.
individual. No, and neither do you. And even with Vinny over here, who's not really listening to our conversation, but he is. It's amazing. And even just with the crew that you have here, Anna and John, Jamaica, and Esther, and Twiney and Danielle.
Yeah.
They come from such different walks of life, but they're all really cool human beings, and I'm
They've
learning a
become
lot.
Our family, really. I feel like they're my family.
Yeah.
And I feel honoured to have a role in their lives, really.
Yeah, you kind of become the the adoptee, don't you?
I'm like the whānau.
Yeah, you're like the
whānau
whānau.
mum.
But without a place where people can congregate, that's really it. That's what Accelerating Aotearoa, and that's what you're facilitating. And yes, there's
All
got to be
together.
certain outcomes, and that must be tough. This is what I'm learning. You know, you can't. This is not a corporate space where you've got a mission statement and you hit your targets, because your targets are constantly shifting, don't you think?
Absolutely. You never know. But I guess we spent so long beating our head against the wall trying to survive, and then we took on being here 10 years ago, and then it was like, how the hell do we find that money to meet the overheads? And so now we've kind of got to the overhead bit, and now we've got a few people that have joined the kaupapa, like you and Vinny and the girls, and then with the ōNAC My River call centre, having them there, and it's really given us some stability. I feel that we've got a tapestry now that we can fly on. It's like a flying magic carpet.
It kind of is a magic carpet,
Because if you don't believe it, ain't going to fly.
No.
And we know that so much.
And this carpet is not really big enough yet.
No,
so,
not quite big enough.
like, comment, subscribe, and donate. There you go. We want a bigger carpet, okay? But what it is now, what I see, and from an outsider inwards, I've been around Accelerating Aotearoa for the last year, just over a year, really. I come here once a week, have discussions with
Twice
you, help
a week
out,
sometimes.
twice a week, depends on what the needs are, and depends on my schedule. And I see a transition happening. People here are shifting into different gears, and it's kind of exciting, and they're shifting into gears with the core group of everyone else. So it's not like individuals. If there was a project where we band together, and Geek Camp is an awesome example of that, everyone in this place bands together to make that thing safe, fun, and everyone gets a lot out of it. Wouldn't that be great for that to be the default of what this place is? That the funds are there, that everyone can be here on a full-time basis to give to the community on a daily basis without the distraction of, just pockets of inspiration.
Which isn't easy.
It isn't, no. And like myself, and I mean, you are one of the constants, and same with the call centre, they're constant. But now we need a constant for the community, hey? Almost like no matter what time people come in, there's someone there that can facilitate them one-on-one.
And I guess
have
by the same
initiatives.
token, it's not just the the walking in thing, it's also the call centre. That's our first part, where we could have a 24-hour service, so that anyone that needs help at any point has got some way of doing that.
Yeah, and even just promoting the services that you offer, that's a full-time job in itself. Having an ambassador kind of role, and this is where I think the girls, they're the ultimate ambassadors. They live in the community, they wanted to change, but they still need to eat, and they need to survive. And wouldn't it be great that they have a full-time basis within this mothership that can then facilitate that? And I see that that's the transition, that's the next step. I don't want money to be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue. It should just be there to facilitate whatever needs to happen.
Yeah.
So that's what I wish for this place. There you go. Unfortunately, I'll buy my lotto ticket and I'll see how it goes.
And we'll all invest in the this league.
Yes. But isn't it great? Because the people that are here, they're investing their time.
They are.
And their emotions.
Souls,
And their souls,
Their souls. It's an amazing thing to be part of, and it's so exciting to hear someone like you not only sort of understand the dream, but also to be to articulate the transition, but also be willing to bring your incredible skills, your storytelling, your technical skills, your huge heart.
Oh, that's,
and I want to.
you're too kind.
Well, it's so true. I wanted to talk about our amazing adventure last week with going on set with Ahikaroa, and I've never been on a set before. I mean, apart from the ones that set up in my kitchen. But how incredible to be physically part of the dream.
Yes.
So that people understand the context. Dan used some of his professional team, professional contacts to arrange for our rangatahi to go on site for the filming of this particular episode. And then, hilariously, he and I had gone along as the chaperones, because we're so good at that, and suddenly found ourselves as extras as well. But
blob number 3, blob number 4.
Yeah, blobs
Watches in the
were just
episode
amazing.
20,
blob.
season 6.
Should we take them through our moves?
That was funny.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
But what an amazing opportunity for us all to share. I mean, we'll all have that locked in our hearts forever. And, as we said this morning, I really think be so excited if some of the girls went on to, progress that opportunity as extras.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And this is the magic, because worlds collide, isn't it? It's through
exactly how it felt.
One person was the bridge to take a group of people from here and give them an experience they would never otherwise know it exists or even have access to. And that goes both ways. What I've been exposed to here have been many moments like that. And you see that if you do bring your expertise in and suddenly someone sees it and goes, oh, wow, I didn't know this existed or this happened, it's magical. And you see it through their eyes. I mean, I love the industry that I'm in. And I love even more seeing other people get starry-eyed when they see, look at all these things, look at all the jobs. That was a crew of about 30 people.
Yeah.
And if the rangatai see what everyone does, it doesn't matter what your personality type is, there's a job there for you. What do you like to do? Do you like makeup? Do you like the gadgets? Be a camera person? Do you want to boss people around? Do you want to be the director? Do you want to get creative? Do you want to be part of the props team? That's the beauty of it, I think. And hopefully they saw that.
Absolutely. It wasn't just that, though, too. It was like, every single person on the set was Māori or Pacifica. And this was...
And that's why it took a palangi like me to take the Maoris to a Maori set.
Welcome. Thank you.
How ironic is that?
On behalf of my ancestors and my whanaunga.
You're very welcome. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
But really, truly, Dan,
isn't that funny how things...
Yeah. But it's about people that want to make the bridge, don't they? It's about making bridges, and the more we bridge, the more everybody finds the joy that's available, because it's immeasurable.
Yes. And what if everyone becomes a bridge?
Yeah.
Rather than us all being little islands and protecting our little turf, wouldn't it be great that there were more bridge builders out there? And I think for anyone that's in the corporate field, it's so much nicer to build bridges for the community than it is building bridges to a higher bank account. And I think that's really, I think what you and I have discovered, this is where the magic lies.
It is the magic. The selfless act
provides.
of making something better or creating an opportunity for someone to connect to someone, something that's more exciting and more interesting, and we already know in our hearts that they're going to love it.
Yes.
And that's what you did. It was just incredible.
Yeah.
But the courage and determination, because it's not easy.
No, it is. It was effortless.
The building bridges and how it's more than a personal satisfaction, though, isn't it? It feels like a whole... We use that word kaupapa.
It is. Kaupapa is a great word for it.
Yeah, because it's who we are, what we are, and why we are.
Yeah. And if something's missing in your life, that's what it is. It's that connection. And I think especially people my age, middle age, done the whole thing. You get put into a little box that says, this is what you do for a living, this is your expertise. But, who is Daniel when he's not an editor? And this is what my journey is at the moment. Can Daniel, who's just Daniel, be good enough to be part of society without having to be, slotted into do one small, tiny thing?
Yeah.
And that's why it was good when I first came here. I came here not to show off and say, hey, I'm this awesome filmmaker and I can take you up to these heights. That happened when there was a need, but my intention was never to do that. I wanted to say to you, hey, I'm Daniel. Hopefully you like me as a person, and I can help out in all these different ways. And so you know my strengths in some areas, but you don't define me as those.
No.
We get together, we have coffee, we talk about things about psychology, political things, and in a lot deeper sense. There's a deeper connection than just being a colleague as such.
It's a wonderful opportunity, and maybe that's a challenge for, well, not so much a challenge, a reflection for our friends and colleagues that are still locked in that corporate world. There is so much more. And actually, do you really need another new car or another trip somewhere or another bigger house?
Yeah.
When there's so much opportunity to make a difference for someone else if you just push your energy and your love and your compassion into it.
Yeah, that's right. And it should be half your life should be that role, and the other half.
When you get to that magic age of,
as
we are now in our 40s.
Perspective. Yeah, our 40s. It's got a 4 in it, but yes, you're right.
Somewhere.
But you're right. And when I first thought there has to be something else, this was so not my word. I didn't know where to start. I looked at online, how do I give back to the community? So I went online and there were some support groups. You can register, you can volunteer. And I actually applied for a few things. I never heard anything back. And I'm thinking, how hard is it? I've got some time.
And
I've got the resources.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give them to whoever is out there. But nothing eventuated. It's really strange. And if I'm in that position... And
who else is out there?
Yeah, exactly. Who's going, well, where's the connection to something like this? Because if you're living in the North Shore, I'm not going to drive to Ōtara and go around the streets and looking for some... Well, I do now, but it's kind of like, okay, or even who needs my help at this time?
And how can I be part of making change?
Yeah, without me feeling... I don't belong or anything like that. And maybe this is something we could actually open doors. What about we organise maybe an evening and advertise for people, hey, you want to know a bit more about...
for an opportunity?
Yeah, because if I read something like that, I would have jumped at this chance. Okay, I go along to this meeting, see what it's about. I can then...
Meet some cool people
and just observe. Is my skill here needed, or where can I help? What do I want to do? But I think the big thing is to actually set yourself aside. You don't want to come, John the accountant shouldn't come to these meetings to become John the accountant. It should be John does something totally different. And that's the only way.
John the man that wants to make change.
If he wants to do a little bit of accountancy, great. But he should not feel like because he's an accountant, he has to stay and be an accountant. He can be the dishwasher, he can be the guy that draws pictures with, the tamariki, or he can design posters, or, anything different. Shake it up, shake it off, shake it up. So, yeah.
But what we know is that John will emerge from that connection.
Yes.
A happier man. That's what we're guaranteeing, isn't it?
It is. You can't not.
No.
It's
about figuring out what our marketing platform looks like, because how many Johns are going to come to Ōtara where, we've got a liquor ban here, and a drug ban. So how would we possibly have a cocktail function.
And just
But
open the doors. Just,
yeah.
I mean, they don't have to come. They can be from anywhere. But ultimately, I think people that are seeking, you'll attract the right people.
Yeah.
I think, and they don't have to come from North Shore or West, or they could come locally here, because surely there's people living down the street that might have those connections, or they know someone. They say, "Hey, you told me about you want to do some volunteering. Well, this place is going to talk about what it's like to volunteer."
Yeah.
And there's this idiot Daniel there he's given up his time and he's made no money. And he's going to the anti-establishment route.
And actually all of us are like that.
Exactly. Oh, don't say that. But he's happier than ever. What's the secret, And I think, what's the secret?
Yeah.
So do you want to know the real secret? It's not abundance. It's diversity.
Wow.
I just made that up anyway. So
I love
don't
it.
know.
Abundance, not diversity.
Yeah.
Oh, diversity, not abundance.
Not material abundance anyway, but emotional abundance.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, why?
Yeah. And experience, abundance of experiences, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the opportunity to look through people's eyes. Will used to say it, but you kind of gave us more than, I guess, the means. But, when we started making podcasts, and then so much more when, you started making this short film format, the documentaries, it was, this tells our story. What happens here? What happens behind the purple door? Well, this is what happens behind the purple door. And maybe we can market the experience through video. Maybe we can.
Like for, what do you mean?
To try and capture people who are looking for more. The people that would go to those various websites that offer volunteer connections and say, well, this is what we've got.
Yes.
Do you want to come and work with us?
Yeah. That's the beauty about a place like this. There's always things to do, isn't there?
There is.
Do you want to do some painting? Do you want to do some carpet ripping up?
Yeah.
Or do you want to just...
We've got a few pieces of carpet downstairs.
Yeah. Or just taking things to the tip, know, or... bringing your barbecue and hosting a lunch, that kind of stuff. The world is your oyster and your imagination is your oyster. For a place that has very little, anything you can give is going to be really appreciated.
Yeah.
And I think if we can involve people that are wholeheartedly wanting to make a change within themselves and feel part of a community, and it doesn't have to be their community, any community.
And making a difference.
Yeah.
I think the whole idea of hosting a community lunch on a regular basis would be amazing.
Yeah, or even an evening, because people are working still.
Yeah, well.
They're still having a 9-to-5 job and fighting traffic until 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah, well, why not?
Yeah.
Could have one in the middle of the storm tonight.
That's right. Vinny, call them up.
We need to, I want to go back on just what your challenge is and use that to finish our conversation off for the meantime. So the challenge that you had was, so the opportunity is abundance of experience instead of abundance of wealth, and the opportunity to feel love beyond and in different directions than you've ever imagined, really, isn't it?
Yeah, just having different connections.
Yeah.
And it broadens your whole perspective on things. And we had a quite in-depth conversation just before this podcast, It was you, me and Vinny, and we talked about everything on a very broad scale. And hearing all these beautifully different perspectives, it makes you appreciate the world is just so much bigger than clickbait advertising, or the little headline that you read.
How dare we watch clickbait advertising? I smack my hand every time I feel drawn into...
But we all fall for it.
Yeah,
but the good thing is taking that what you know, sharing it, and then getting someone else's take on that. And if you're open to that sharing, that unity, then you are a much more rounded person. And I think you stay away from the echo chamber of which is, well, this is how it is and this is how I think it is and nothing will ever change. Well, guess what? It does. And the world is a lot bigger than we think it is. And when you're in that narrow way of being, which is what a lot of people are, just the way society works, you find yourself in a tunnel that you can't see out of. And it takes a lot. Like, I wanted to volunteer, but I didn't know where to start. Probably people say, just go online and type in volunteering and someone will get in contact with you. It's not that simple, because obviously the ones I applied for, I never got anywhere with it. They said they were either too busy, or they had enough of that, or the timing wasn't right and things like that. Yeah, but that's maybe just divine timing wasn't right. I was meant to end up here and not
we're
drive.
So grateful.
Not drive old ladies around the North Shore to their next appointment, kind of thing, which was one of the things I wanted to do.
Oh, really?
But then COVID-19 hit, and everything it kind of is, yeah. But I mean, thinking just the old people's homes there,
Yeah.
I think you're going there.
Very well heeled old people's homes, of course. But
even just going there, I play a bit of guitar. Why not go there and play some guitar once a week, that kind of thing. But I didn't do it because I was too scared to actually approach that, because it's a whole area that I'm not familiar with. It's like you coming on set. If you had no connection to what this place actually is, and you just walk in, you're going to feel like a total loser and out of place, right?
Yeah.
So you need a connection into that world. And if we can be that connection into that world, it would make it a lot easier for people like moi to come along and go, this is great. How can I help?
well, how lucky we are.
First time Judy's been speechless in our podcast.
Yeah, gives us a bit. Thanks, man. You can turn it off now.